Hi, everybody. Welcome. If it's your first time visiting Jimmy's Neighborhood Bees, or welcome back if you've been here before and you follow me. I really appreciate all the people who watch my videos, give me the thumbs up, the likes, all that stuff. I appreciate all of it. The comments. You guys are awesome. Tell me when I misspoke about something. Like I called one feeder a lysin hive, a lysin feeder, and it's actually a Cirrocell feeder. But anyway, let me read today's fortune. And for those of you who don't know, I read a fortune every beginning of every video, whether it be this video, Bees, Jimmy's Neighborhood Bees, or I also have a Mini Cooper channel that I rescue first generation Mini Coopers, Jimmy's first gen Mini Rescue. And I read a different fortune for that book, so I for that channel. So anyway, this book came about right at the beginning of COVID. I was cleaning the house. I had fortunes from, Chinese food we ordered. I had fortunes all over the house, sitting in wine glasses, cookie jars, all over. So I compiled them all together, took out any of the duplicates, and I compiled them in this book. And I took the cover photo as well. So that was one of my first COVID projects. Bees was another COVID project, and still sticking with both. Anyway, so I'm gonna read today's fortune. That's where this book comes from. That's why I read a fortune every day or every video. And it says, you will travel far and wide for both pleasure and business. You will travel far and wide for both pleasure and business. Well, that's true. Hopefully, if I keep thinking about the upcoming North American Honeybee Expo in Louisville, Kentucky. It's not sponsored. They're not paying me to say any of this, but we went earlier this year in January, and that was my first big conference. Sharon and I went, and we had a blast. We met a lot of people I see on YouTube, and it was great meeting everyone in person and seeing them. And then the strange thing for me was people were searching me out, which was, I wasn't quite expecting that, because again, this is just a small backyard operation, and a lot of these people are world known. I mean, known all over the world, and here's little old me in Chesterfield. So I appreciate every single one of you that watch, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, to me that travel was is for business and pleasure, because I'll be buying stuff. We're gonna go this year again. It's January 2025, the first weekend, but we'll be there. We bought our tickets already, but we haven't made our reservations to anywhere to stay yet. But we'll work on that in a minute, in a week or two. But anyway, that's enough of that. I hope to see you guys there. If you see me, come up, say hi. Tell me who you are. I'll probably be bad with names, some of them, but just say you watched or you commented or something, and I hope to see you guys there. Anyway, today is more in the continuing saga of trying to make sure that that little 3-frame deep nuke box gets through winter. So it's still in the winter preps. What I have is deep frames. Now, I had these frames already made up in the storeroom, with the exception they didn't have wire. They weren't wired for a better comb or anything. When I tried to find better comb, the deeps, they were sold out. So what I decided was to order medium better comb and treat it like they do a cutout, like Jeff Horchoff, down Mr. Ed down in Louisiana, or Randy McCaffrey. When they cut out a beehive in a building, or behind a wall, or in an RV, or wherever they happen to build comb, they cut the comb to fit and try to put it in, and then they rubber band it up. So better comb was sold out of the deeps, but they had medium. So what I did was I ordered medium and decided to just treat it like a cutout. So I was going to put the larger half and you got to make sure you put it the right way up. I was going to put the larger half here, and then I cut the right way up, the shorter half up here. And then I with the wires, you melt it in place. And I figured the bees will clean it up, and they'll have pretty much instant room right away to start laying eggs or putting nectar, whatever I feed them, sugar water, whatever. They'll have room because the two of the frames in there were not drawn out. And it's kind of late in the season for them to draw out, and I didn't have any deeps. So this was going to be my better option. Now I'm going to have some left over, and I could either wire this up and use it as starter strip for some deeps, or I'll do something with it. I might be able to put 3 or 4 and fill up a frame just like a cutout. So it's not going to go to waste. It's just going to be more work for me. For those of you who don't know, Better Comb, it's synthetic beeswax comb. There we go. And now all I got to do is add power to the ends of the cable, negative and positive, and it'll melt. The wire will get hot and it'll melt, and I'll just push it down to the right thing. And what I have is I have a battery underfloor. You can't see it, but it's an old one of my old batteries from a Mini that stays on a charger, and it's just like a thing. And I have it wired. So I just have some, what gauge is this? Doesn't really matter what gauge. And you just put one side to one and one side to the other. The wire will heat up. You press it down. You take the wire off. You let it go. It'll cool. Put it to the side. So what I will do is there's 2 pink frames of deep in there. I will remove those. Put 2 of these in. I'll make 1 extra. So I'll have 3 just in case. I don't know why. And then I also have a medium super, and I do have medium drawn out comb. And in my freezer, I have 2 mediums that are full of nectar and honey from last seed that I did not spin. So I will use that along with in here. There's 3 other frames that are drawn already that have drawn comb. It's empty. Little water because it got left out in the rain. But so I'll put those 3 and then the 2 that have honey and nectar on there, and I'll sit that on top of the hive, and then I'm gonna feed all the way until it starts to freeze. And that way they'll have time. She can use these to put more brood if she's still laying brood. And then they'll have room for nectar and honey and all that. And again, I will wrap that hive and try to nurse it through the winter. Anyway, so I'm gonna get busy doing this, preparing these frames so I can get it in today before the sun goes down. Okay, I completed all 3 of those frames. You might have seen I looked at the sides of the synthetic comb. This is better comb. If you're going to do this, you have to ensure that you're putting this better comb the correct way around. If you look at the sides, let me see what you see. You might be able to tell that the cells are in a V pattern facing up. I'm going to draw on here with a pen. Oh, wait, let me see. Let me get a marker. Okay, I have a marker. The cells, now I'm going to exaggerate, but they're more going up. Like that in a V pattern. Now that's exaggerated. They're not that far up, but you want to make sure that they're facing that way. Because if not, you can put it in upside down and the bees won't use it. So just verify which way you got it. And what I'll end up doing with these leftovers is, again, treating them just like a cutout. And it might take 4 to do a frame. And then I won't be wasting it. So, and I'll also, yeah. So that way, that'll be done. Okay. I've got my smoker lit over here. I'm going to start moving some items back there closer so that I can get in and get out really quick without so much disturbance. Yeah, I don't think I need anything else except for the feed, but that'll go on after I close it up. I can fill up the carousel. I'm also going to take my level out there and make sure that it's level side to side, and then maybe leaning forward just a tiny bit, just, for winter. All right. And I'm not going to worry about wrapping it with insulation today. However, I will wrap it with insulation for the winter. All right. Let's go get some stuff out there. Okay, that was pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Just to recap, I took the 2 pink frames out. You saw they were starting to build comb, but they weren't going to have the whole thing built out before, the October, November time frame, because it's already, September 20th. So, yeah, they wouldn't have had that built out. So by doing the better comb, treating it like a cutout, so I got the deeps that I didn't have before, that are not available. I just cut it out, and I'm gonna use every single scrap that I end up with. So yeah, okay, it works. Hey, how you doing, Martha? So anyway, so now the extra one, I'm gonna put it in, just stick it in the farmhouse for storage behind the divider board, so they're not gonna use it. Because all of the bees in the farmhouse are on the XL frames, that side of the hive. So I'll just stick it in there for storage. I didn't turn the camera on, but I had a half a gallon, or a little bit more than a half a gallon of feed, and I put it in the Sericel feeder. Earlier I called it a Lysin feeder. It's not a Lysin. It's a Sericel nuke feeder. So it has those 2 blue buckets, and the bees come up from the sides and suck on the juice. So it's leaning a little bit forward, so all the juice will be forward. That's where the holes are on that feeder, on the Sericel feeder. And this evening when I get in the house, I'll make 2 more gallons of feed, and I'll check all of the feed on all of the hives. Also here I have 2 medium nuke boxes that I need to assemble and dip it in Eco Wood. And what I'm going to do is cut that down, cut those boxes down, and make a sugar feeder, a sugar brick, a candy board, as they say. I have some hardware cloth in the storage shed, and then the part that's left over is just going to be like a feeder shim. So I'll cut it down, make a candy board out of two of them, and 2 shims, feeder shims, just for putting patties. Oh, and I don't know if you noticed, but they did use all of that pollen patty that I put on the hive. I should have put another one, but I'll do that in a couple of days. I don't want to, when I go back in there in a couple of days, sometime next week, I'll put another half a pollen patty in. Give them time to polish up the, hey, my neighbor's waving. Give them time to polish up the better comb that's in there. And then the queen should be able to start laying. So anyway, the pink frames, they're sitting over at my my robbing station. So whatever nectar was in there, maybe, they'll find it at the robbing station and go get it. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna still video, but you don't need to see that today. I'm gonna end this one. Thank y'all for watching and coming back to visit me in my neighborhood. This is Jimmy's Neighborhood Bees. Thank y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. And have fun with your bees, even when you're playing nursemaid to try to get some through the winter.